Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Sanandini and I'm an entrepreneur who has been associated with Inside IIM as a host since 2022. We are going to have a very quick webinar today, almost like a webinar short. Well, as short as it can be. And this time the crux of this webinar is to understand how a person who was born and brought up in a village, who didn't know about what a product manager was, can now become a product manager at a company like Paytm. It is all about figuring things out and figuring yourself on the way. Today, we are very, very, very happy to have Muskan Atar, the product manager at Paytm and an alum of IIM Lucknow with us. She's also a storyteller, and I have been thoroughly impressed by the way she narrates her own story. She was born and brought up in a resource constrained place, which I saw on her LinkedIn profile. So we'll see what that means. And she fought her way through everything and solved and learned to solve issues and situations. So let us know what happens when you don't have anyone to guide you about corporate life when you were a kid. So what are the steps of figuring out and chasing something greater than what you have ever seen before? So if you have any questions during the webinar, please let me know on the live chat and we'll take those up at the end of the webinar. It is really great to have you here, Muskan.
Thank you. Thank you for this kind introduction. Bit hyped, but excited.
Let's start then. Muskan, as we said, the resource constrained background that you lived through in your past. So, can you just tell us, explain at that time, what kind of people were you surrounded with and what was work
they're doing
to
the
you?
same mistake. Like I think the world
Right.
is
So I come from a village called Vadas, which is around 120 kilometers from Pune. So the village has one school from first standard to fourth standard, and if you have to go to college, then you have to go to the town nearby, like that thing. And my parents are teachers, so my mother teaches in that village, and my father was used to teach in a village nearby. So our life was like surrounded by these two places only. There was not much exposure about city life and what are the opportunities available in the city life. And even in my family members, the only jobs I have seen were government jobs. Like the highest you can go is become an IS officer or IPS officer. And when you're born in a middle class family and then you're academically good, the highest expectation from you is that you will become an IS officer, because there are no other alternatives even they are aware about, right? So when I went to my engineering, that was first time I knew that there is something called MBA. Then there are other corporate jobs that are available which are equally lucrative, and the careers are good apart from the government jobs which we have. Then that is where my first like stepping into a new world was happening, where I came to know about MBA and how I could be a good fit for it.
So again, coming back to engineering. So as you said, everybody was doing IES or was a teacher, which was the norm around you. What happened that you went and did your BTech?
Right. So after my 11th and 12th happened, my father was more inclined that I should go to doctor, because those are the two options only available. Either you become a doctor or you become an engineer. Even my parents don't know about any other career options that are available apart from the government job. So he wanted me to become a doctor, but I'm kind of a person like I faint in the hospitals, I can't see blood, etc. So, and I didn't like biology at all. I used to study, my professor has to literally force me to study biology. And I loved maths. So the choice of going towards engineering was maths itself. And now in which field I have to go, right? In engineering. So the only point of connection I had was +1 seniors to me. In my school, we were the second batch in the school. So the first batch who were already into engineering, those were only the point of contacts I was aware of. And they were also in the first year of their engineering that time. So even they didn't know that what are the career opportunities available and how should they make a selection. So according to them, mechanical was evergreen and it was fluid, and you can like choose any career you want after doing mechanical engineering. So you don't get restricted to a particular domain, and you get to work on field. And even like girls doing mechanical engineering is a big thing. How can a girl choose a mechanical? It's like something you're doing out of box. So the information I got was limited because even those point of contacts which I had, even they did not have that kind of information with them or that kind of a career trajectory they were not aware of. So the decision was made on a very limited information. But I guess everything works out some or the other time.
So I guess before going into your MBA and your product management journey, I want to come back to a parallel thing that was going in your life, that was storytelling. So how did you even come in contact with something known as storytelling? It's not a profession, it's not anything, but it's important for everything. So how did you get this information, and what was the first time someone appreciated your storytelling?
Yeah. So my sister is a public speaker, and like she has won many awards. So, and we have like 4 or 5 years of age gap between us. So for me, it was like a benchmark she has already set that she has won these trophies in public speaking. So I had to pursue that benchmark as a child, was something on my mind. And my mother was used to like literally encourage me in participating in all these extracurricular activities. She has like sent me on stage from 2.5 years old, and I used to be very happy about it. So it was not like a forced childhood thing. I was equally curious, and she like supported my curiosity. She supported my excitement in a way. Uh, and like my thing was like I used to perform on stage in every school competitions. I miss every month there used to be one or the two debate competitions happening. So after my school happened, even during college, I used to participate. When engineering happened, the format changed. It went to business idea pitching competitions, presentation competition. But I had constantly been on stage. Now, when my engineering happened, I knew I had to go get into a corporate office and I'll go like 9 to 5 work and come back. That would be my life. I was like, no, I can't do this. If this is the only life I want, I will like literally miss stage completely throughout my life. So after engineering, the only stage opportunities that were building up that time was storytelling and slam poetry. So if you have listened to Ananya Johor's poem, that went viral during that time itself. So I realized that these are some of the stage opportunities that are available, and probably I can give it a try because I could write during that time and I could perform as well. So I tried my hand at slam poetries and storytelling. That time I was in Sangli, so there was not much of exposures. All you can do is give online submissions, and if you are selected, they'll call you to Pune, Mumbai, or Bangalore to perform. So, and there were no open mics available in Sangli as such. So that was it. Like I wanted to stay connected with the stage because that I've been doing like for my entire 20 years. And like just letting go of stage was very difficult for me. And somehow what I ended up choosing, I liked it, and it also helped me in my further career.
So I know many of you guys are thinking why we are talking about storytelling right now. So number one is she has an impressive background where she has posted some videos which have gone millions of views because of her storytelling in paper tale. That is number one. Second, I want to know really how helpful is storytelling with product management. So now that we know why we are focusing on storytelling, let's again come back to paper tale that we were talking about. So what is taper tale, and how do you publish a story in taper tale? And guys, whoever is watching, you can also do it, maybe just here to listen to her.
Right. So in India, there are very few slam poetry initiatives or storytelling initiatives. If you see Aneri's poetry, then Taper Tale, then Terribly Tiny Tales, and very few of them give chances to newcomers. So Taper Tale is one of those platforms where they give chance to newcomers into their shows. Otherwise, if you see other storytelling platforms, they'll only hire who are already professional storytellers. Like literally, they'll give just one slot to a newcomer, and that would be a very rare scenario to happen. Even that you need connections or something like that. You need someone to know from the platform. But that was not the thing with Tail. For their every show, they have like 4 or 5 slots open for personal storytellers who are newcomer and probably may not be as good at art, but they'll help try to improve you. And for their every show, they generally conduct show in Pune, Mumbai, Lucknow, Bangalore, Ahmedabad, these major cities. For their every show on their Instagram platform, they'll send you a mail ID that you can submit your stories there. After sending stories, they'll give you a feedback that if it is selected or not selected, and what was the reason of not selecting. So they'll give you a closure also that if you're not selected, you can improve in your next submission. After, in case you're selected, they'll call you to perform on that particular show. There, if your audience reaction is great and you have performed really well, then they'll record that show. And if everything goes well on that day, they'll put it on their YouTube channel in coming 2 to 3 months. So this is the current process. Now, what things happens is, since there are no many other storytelling avenues, there are very few storytelling platforms. So you have to like continuously try on them. If in case they like you, you'll get selected. If simultaneously, if you're also building your Instagram profile, you're building a community that can also bring them views and that can also create your brand image, then that is much better. That I didn't do it, but if you are like, if anyone's trying to become a storyteller or starting, it's better that you have your Instagram community build up so that even they find it lucrative to call you on their show.
Got it. So let's talk about the main show now. I think people are waiting for your MBA and how it changed everything. So as you said, you went into engineering, you heard people talking about MBA and how it's a changing field and how you can pursue that. What was your main motivation to pursue MBA?
Right. So when I went to corporate life, so initially 2-3 months, I didn't much like my work. So I talked with my manager. I said that probably I would want to change the kind of projects I'm getting. I would want to try something on the managerial level, program management level. So I would thank that my manager was kind enough to listen to me. And he gave me some small scale management projects. Those were not very high impact compared to my other colleagues who were at a senior level. But due to the interest I showed, he gave me those projects. I liked the work which I was doing. And during that 1-2 years, I realized that my inclination, either you can be expert in technical terms or you can be an expert in the managerial terms, right? So my inclination towards management was very high. And I also had the skill set that was required going towards management. I was interested in extracurricular activities. I was interested in event management from that perspective. So I realized that this is a good career option I can choose. And if I have to do something for next 10 years or next 20 years, then I should rather pursue what I'm interested in. And MBA is a lucrative option. Like you are good, means in terms of money, in terms of positions, in terms of roles that you get, it's very well structured compared to other career options that are there. So I felt this is a good fit.
Got it. And you got into IIM Lucknow. So how was that? How that went and how was the interview process?
So during the interview process, they generally want to understand what kind of a person you are. So I didn't had those kind of like top brands, which are generally other people have. They're IITians, they're from NITs, etc. They have worked in top companies. I didn't had, but I had a journey to display that I had started from zero, and my zero was definitely different from somebody else's who has gone into IIT or who has gone into NIT. So I showed that journey to them that probably I may not be the best among the options you have chosen, but I have come from a place where even coming to this position was difficult. So they understood that this journey has changed me and has created an evolution where I have become a better person. And I'll keep that attitude together for my entire 10 years, because you have realized that what is your bottom. If you have come from like a zero place, you realize that you can grow from here. You don't want to go to that bottom again. So there is always that I have to learn, I have to grow. So that I displayed in the interview, that I have become a better person. I have learned from these things, and I think that is what they liked me. That's why it's just.
So, got it. So, moving forward, you chose product management. So, first of all, I want to know, is it very common for an engineer to go into product management? Is it a usual thing?
Not really. Means I have seen engineers getting into consulting, getting into investment banking as well, which is like not even related to their course curriculum at all. So vice versa is true that most of the product managers in India have like an engineering background. but not true in otherwise, that not all engineers or most of the engineers would want to get into product management.
And why do you think being an engineer is beneficial to be a product manager? Is it?
No, see, product management is a very generalist role. They look for like three type of skills: problem solving skills, writing skills, and communication skill. All three of them have got nothing to do with your background.
Okay.
So if you're a good problem solver, they'll give you cases to solve. If you're a good problem solver, that's best. If you're a good writer, because you have to write PRDs, and you're a good communicator, you will manage multiple stakeholders. If you are able to communicate well, these are the three core skills that they look for. So having an engineering background or is not a compulsory. And specifically in India, product management is still a very fluid role. There are no rules and guidelines as of now displayed for product management. So even if you're from operations background, or even if you're not a typical CS engineer, still it is very much possible to get into product management. It's just that you have to make certain choices that how you can get into the field. Like, for example, someone who's from an operations background would want to apply for an e-commerce company or a supply chain logistic company into a product management role. There, the chances of getting into that role would be much higher.
Got it. So for you, did you know what product management was? And I know you did your summer internship in Amazon, and you said that that is when you understood product management, maybe. So what were your thoughts before you even started this internship?
So when I went to MBA, my first month was like literally just exploring things, because I was that time not aware about consulting or investment banking or other career options other than marketing and general management. So these were two things only I was aware of. Other career options I was not at all aware of. Even if their existence I was not aware of. So for me, first 2 months just went in exploring. And somehow my senior was conducting a session on product management, and they solved a case, and I found it really challenging and really intriguing. So I thought this is something interesting, I should give it a try. So I solved some of the cases with my friends, and I found them really interesting, really brainstorming. I thought, if this is the work that I want to do for 10 years, 20 years, I would love to do that. Then I went and researched this a bit about what are the career opportunities available, what would be a career trajectory as such. And I somehow, there were two feelings that were happening simultaneously, because my contemporaries had like a typical product management background already, and I didn't have that. So there was fear that whether I'll get into product management or not. But see, at the end of the day, MBA gives you three opportunities to get you placed. It gives you in summer internship, then there is HEP cycle, and there is final cycle, right? So even if I don't get into summer internship, there are other two options available. So I was like, if even I'll give a try for product management. If I don't get in, I'll try it for my finals or summer placement. So that was more of a calculated decision that I made, that if I get into, better for me. If I don't, there are still two more options available.
Got it. So how did your career turn towards product management in Paytm?
Yeah, so Paytm is a typical product company. So all the means our organization structure is itself product based. So currently we are having rotational product management batch going on. So they have selected some 20 folks from India who are into this rotational product management batch. And after every 3 months, our product changes. So means we have to learn really quickly. We have like 1 month of time to just ramp up and understand the product, and then we have to, in next 2 months, we have to make sure that the execution of our ideas also happen. Meantime, you have to build a relationship with other stakeholders. Now in product management, what happens is, this is also a drawback and also a good thing about product management, is the people I'm working with, like I'm working with analyst, I'm working with developer, those people are not reporting to me, those are reporting to their senior managers. So I don't have any authority on them. I don't handle their promotions, I don't handle their hiring, nothing. So if I am giving them some kind of work, it happens only because I have authentic relationships with them. Otherwise, I don't have any incentive to get that work done from them, because they are not reporting to me. I'm not handling their promotion decisions. I'm not handling their hiring decisions. So if you have to build that authentic relationship with the person, you need some time, right? You need like 3-4 months, 3-4 projects to work on, so that you understand that what are the drawbacks of the person, what is he good at, what is he like, what is their working style. So that rotational product management, all that work that we were supposed to do in 6 months, that we have to shorten it and do it in first 3 months itself. So all the relationship building, which would have otherwise taken 6 months for me or 7 months for me, that all the work, I need to do it quickly and also make the execution possible in 3 months. So that is also one challenge that we have, but it's good going, and I think I'm getting to learn a lot.
So this rotational thing, is it it's not a permanent thing, obviously. It's like a project of a 1 year, something like that.
Oh yeah, 3 months first product they'll change. After 3 months, second product, and they also give a liberty to product managers whether they want to continue with either of these products or they want to go to a new team altogether for next 6 months. So either of these options can be chosen, but again, it depends on the availability in the team that I'm proposing. That if I want to get into them, if there is an availability, then they'll give a trade-off option. But
Got
that is there, liberty is there from our end.
Okay, so you began by starting that 20 people were chosen for this. So I want
Yeah.
to know, how did you get into in this 20 group?
So the choice means there was no special procedure for us as such. When our interviews were done, shortlists were done, from different colleges, the HR itself chose. They didn't give us earlier this option that we are running this kind of program. So there was no admission process as such from our end, at least for this year. I think from next year or next to next year, they'll start a typical admission process.
Got it. So if I want to dig a bit deeper, not knowing the nitty-gritties of what you're doing exactly in Paytm, but I want to know how your day looks like today, not today, maybe it's Saturday, so maybe Friday. Let's take Friday from morning to evening. What works do you do? What roles do you play in the office?
So if you like look at a week, right? Monday meetings are generally for whatever KPIs we are tracking. Are they increasing, decreasing? What is the status of the KPIs? And if such and such thing is happening, why it is happening? So a product manager should know a reason that my KPI has increased by 5% or decreased by 4%. Then what should be the reason behind it? That Monday goes exactly into that. You communicate with other stakeholders and try to analyze those reasons. Now, in case if it's decreasing, you'll have to find what are the causes of it, and your week goes on eliminating those causes as soon as possible. So it can be a technical bug, or you would have implemented a new idea that did not go well as you have planned. So, and in case it increases, if it has shown an expected growth as we wanted to, then you work on other idea projects where you're implementing new features. So generally, since I'm at a junior level, right, there are other senior PMs that I report to. So my day goes in that whatever idea I have suggested, whatever the problem I am solving, I talk to my senior PMs first 2 days of the week, communicate with them that this is the idea, this is my solution, what are the changes required, etc. So we collaborate, we negotiate with each other. Then we decide on stakeholders with whom we'll have to work on this. Then next 2 to 3 days meeting goes with those stakeholders, that how the implementation will happen and etc. Then once PRD is made, at the end of the week, we communicate it with the technical team that this is the process, and they'll give you their ETAs that when this will be communicated. So in Paytm, what happens is the execution part is generally taken care by program managers. So for the execution part, we just have to give our requirements, other ETAs and man hours, how much are required, what are other resources required. That generally is taken by program management. Depends on team to team, but whatever teams I have worked on, their program managers were there. So we just have to work on ideation, problem solving, maintenance of the product. What are the KPIs if they are increasing, decreasing? This is the general work of a product manager in Paytm.
Got it. So it sounds very general, and I want to ask, so you personally like storytelling. So did storytelling in any way help you in this product management role?
Yeah, it did, because they tag three skills, right? Problem solving skills, writing skills, and communication skills. So if you are applying for a product management role, you need to have spike in any one of these skills. Either it has to be writing or communication or problem solving. So for the problem solving part, my contemporaries already had a product background. They had already worked on product management cases live. They have done that execution part. So I lack that spike in my skills. But second, the writing part and the communication skill part, I had a spike because I had won debate competitions from my childhood. Those were like 30 to 40 trophies alone at state level, at district level. Then I had a storytelling video which had 3 million views. So that created a spike that I had achieved excellence in writing and communication skills. So the part which was remaining problem solving skills, probably I can work on it during my internship or during my job which was happening. So even my Amazon interview went mostly on storytelling and how my writing and communication skills are better. And in order to test my problem solving skills, they gave me 2 to 3 cases to solve compared to other peers who generally get 1 case to solve. So because they were little bit confused that whether I have problem solving skills or not, because I didn't had a spike in that. So they gave me a 2 to 3 cases to solve. So yeah, it definitely helps.
That's very interesting. Summarizing everything into three parts and then seeing where you spike and where you don't. And interviewers are also looking into this and are focusing on your weaknesses and trying to test you on that in interview skills.
Right.
So I guess this is a short webinar. So my last question from my side, um, you love putting yourself in uncomfortable situation and challenging yourself and doing something better than what you did last year. So right now, if I had to ask, what are you chasing in life?
So I'm currently working on 2 type of skill set. One is community building, and second is problem identification. Just for next 4 months at least. So community building, I have not decided the end goal that where it will take me. But community building is one generic skill that you require in any kind of profession. Even if you're going in entrepreneurship, you are building an NGO, or if you are even becoming a storyteller or marketeer, or even if you are like a corporate person, you need to have that networking and community building skills. So that I'm doing through my LinkedIn profile, where I'm trying to create a community that's very engaging, at least an engagement rate of 1% to 2%. So that is my current goal. I don't know how I'm going to leverage it or whether I'm going to monetize or not. That I've not currently thought of, but I would want to build that skill. And second is problem identification, which is a very core skill required for product management. If you identify the right problems, then you can like literally ace that product. So problem identification skills I'm currently working on.
Very interesting. So now I'll give this chance to our audience to ask you some questions. And we have a couple of questions that I can see on a live chat. So I'll start with the first one. Yash Patil is asking, please tell me about VCE Sangli. Is there a good surrounding for CAT and post-graduation?
See, Sangli is also a town area, like tier 3 plus, you can say. So compared to COAP or other government colleges which are there, which are in the city, they have like a lot of national level opportunities available to them. They can participate in competitions which are organized by their surrounding colleges. But that is not the case with WCE. So as far as opportunities are considered, where you can build your profile, where you can get good internships, or you can go and participate in national level competition, the number of opportunities are a bit lower on side if you compare it with COAP level, who are in city, who have that exposure to the companies which are there around and can do internships there. That is less. CAT and post graduation, I have seen that my seniors did online classes. There are no classes as such or tuitions available nearby, and even if they are not of that good quality. So if they're talking only in terms of tuitions and etc., those kind of things are not very readily available. You can go for online classes, go for online mocks, that is there. In terms of profile building, not as many opportunities as would be available for a COEP student. But you can, like, if you have to go for internships as well, you can definitely apply it from the external opportunities and stay there for 1 2 months. It also has an exchange program for 6 months where you can exchange your seat for a COEP college and stay there for 6 months. So this kind of opportunities are available. And even the clubs and committees are really great. Like they have legacy of more than 40 to 50 years. So that is a very good network that you can build. Even the senior alums which are there, those are like entrepreneurs, have built companies of like worth crores. Even those alums help you a lot in getting internships and making your profile, helping you throughout your journey. So there are certain drawbacks, but those drawbacks can definitely be eliminated if you take some effort to make that happen.
Got it. I hope it was helpful, Yash. So the next question we have is from Adarsh. I am a 5-point-year work experience as lead business analyst, and currently I'm pursuing executive PGDM from IMT Ghaziabad. So what should I do to get into product roles in high growth startups? Can you guide me somehow?
Okay. So since I mentioned the core skills for product management are problem solving, writing, and communication, right? For problem solving skill, you require analyst background because you generally use SQL or these languages to fetch data. So if you are already aware of this tool, and if you have worked on products where you have like analyzed this kind of equations, or you have analyzed the data, analyzed a large amount of data, then that would definitely help. So while you are making your CV, one should keep a focus on that. You highlight these points that you can use SQL and R. You have analyzed data. You have solved problems, or you have represented that data to a product manager who has solved this kind of problem. So if you highlight this kind of things, that would help. Above and that, I'm not sure if executive management does have case competitions, because case competitions is also one way of showing your problem solving skills if you do not have a product background. So that also he can try. And apart from this, go for like internship, product based internship. That would also be beneficial.
Got it. So we have another question. I am going to do an engineering, and my doubt is how to discover our interest in finance or marketing or HR. Also, I don't know anything about product management. So can you explain? So about the product management thing, I think Muskan has spoken about it, so we can go through that. But what he is trying to ask is how to know which one you like, how to discover your interest, basically.
Right. See, there are courses available, but the thing is that it only gives you somebody else's perspective. So until unless you don't do the work, it's not possible to understand. So my suggestion would be that since you are very early in engineering, it's only first year, do internships in this domain. When like if you're doing a marketing internship, they won't give you a very high level work, but make sure that you interact with people around who have been into this job, understand the projects they are working on, see that if you will be interested in that kind of work, what exactly are they doing, are they writing PRDs, so will you be interested in writing PRDs or not, so will you be interested in doing that work for 10 years. So internship is the best way, but make sure that while you are interning at the firm, you interact with senior management or interact with people who have done this work for like 4 or 5 years. They would be the best people to give you an idea, and then analyze that whether you would be wanting to do this work or not.
I guess this makes sense. So please do try it, Yash. Next, we have Adarsh again asking, how is PM's life in a startup versus a big MNC? Which one should one target initially?
So in startups, what happens is execution is faster compared to MNC. In startups, some of the decisions may not be data oriented. Experimentation is very faster. They experiment for like 1 or 2 weeks, understand the result, immediately execute it faster. The ownership in startups is also larger because they can't hire program managers right at that stage. So even the execution part has to be taken care by a product manager. Then other work which is not done by a typical product manager has to be done in a startup world, because the resources are very limited, and you'll have to put that 10x work that you want to, but you will get to learn many things. You will miss a person who is from a startup background will have much more in-depth understanding than a person who has started at MNC. while at MNC, the things are very structured. Like if you go into a product manager role, they'll give you 1 or 2 months of training. This is the work that you have to do. Then they'll assign you a product for which there will be a mentor. Means you don't have so much of like load on yourself. There is always someone who's hand holding you, and they'll give you ownership as per your wishes, whether you want to do it or not. So there is a lot of liberty in MNC. So how should we start? Like it depends on the person whether you are ready to take that kind of ownership at that stage, and you can definitely start after a product management role. Even like Paytm, it's a very startup culture. We are at a very early stage, but still we get a lot of ownership and responsibilities. And I'm okay having that. If you think that you need some time to learn, and if you need some hand holding at the initial stage, then one should choose MNC over a startup.
Got it. So, next question is by Jeevan. He's asking, do we have to be hard on other department people to get their work done, or can soft skills or being soft also work?
So this I'm telling you, like out of my experience of 6 months, I've realized that as flexible you are, as adjustable you are to the other person, and if you need to understand the mindset of the person. Like one designer I was working with, he's very like I want like A, B, C, D things to be done. No akar bakar idhar udhar kuch nahi. I have like this is my plan, this is how I'm going to work. So I don't go there and say, no, please do this, please do. I know that person's work style is that itself. And I make sure that I adjust to that working style, so that I don't have to like if the person is working with me, even for the one project, he should realize that if this project gets extended to 10 projects, he still feel happy to work with me. He should still feel that I can work with this girl because I don't have to make a lot of adjustments, and I'm getting all my requirements at one side. So my working style is that I adjust to the person who's working with me. I make sure that their work is getting recognized. I make sure that they're getting all the requirements on point. I'm not delegating their work as such. So, and it has worked for me. Means I don't like till now, I don't have to go hard on anyone or tell that, oh, why are you not working? Till now, I don't have to do that, and everything has been fine.
Got it. So, Adarsh, I think your question is about daily activities in Paytm as a PM, and she spoke in detail about this weekly, daily, everything. So, just look it up. If you have watched, then it's good. Then we have okay, so I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right or not. Ajinkya Kalekar, who is asking you, where did you do your MBA?
I'm Lucknow.
Yeah, so that is the place. Then we have another question by Adarsh. What are the average salaries for product manager? Can you please at least tell the pay range for a product management role in a startup in an initial level?
Specific, I am not aware of the segmentation between startup and MNC, but I think average is around 22 CTCs. That's what I'm aware of.
Okay.
Apart from that, you also like as a product manager, you get ESOPs. Then you get bonuses, you get retention bonus, you get joining bonus. So that depends on company to company. So ESOPs are generally like it starts from 5, 6 to it can go as high as 50, can go as 25 lakhs also depends on the company you're joining.
Okay, I think that's a great idea that we got. So next is Adarsh is asking, what is the typical interview process for PM? I think we discussed this also beforehand, so just look it up. Sanchit, I think he's one of your juniors, so he's saying that it's good to see a senior here. And then we have SK asking, I am doing BSc Physics and I keep interest in business, marketing, and entrepreneurship. My semesters are hectic and I'm graduating in 2023. Is it okay or not to lag behind if I just sit for CAT 23 and not 22?
If he or she has a clarity of the role that they want to get into, they're sure that they want to get to consulting or they want to get into product management, and they don't have any doubts about it, then I think it's better to go ahead with the MBA. It's not lagging behind. I have like colleagues or my contemporaries who are having 3 years of experience, 4 years of work experience. So means you're not lagging behind the world. It's just that you need clarity on role you want to get into or company you want to get into. And if it's placement is not the final decision, at least you should have clarity, or whether you want to become an entrepreneur or you want to be run a NGO. This kind of goal clarity you should have before getting into MBA. If he or she has that kind of clarity of goal, then there is nothing like lagging behind the world.
Got it. So Hemant is asking, why did you choose product management rather than consulting?
Right. See, I mentioned it, right, that initially when I went to the job, my first corporate job, I was not very much interested into my work. So I did not want to be in that industry, I didn't wish to work in that industry anymore. So in consulting, what happens is it's very industry fluid. You like even in the initial 4-5 years, you work in multiple industries, which is a very good thing. But I had a doubt that in case I get into consulting and if I'm made to work in the same industry as my background, that would be really difficult for me because I spent my 2 years to change that industry, and I again have to go into that. So that was one thing. Otherwise, as far as work of a consultant is considered and a product manager is considered, it's very similar. Consultants get very generic problem statements as well. They can get a project on HR, they can get a project on marketing, etc. But for product managers, the problem statements are related to their products mostly, like 70 to 80%. Some of the work can be there for sales and marketing, but it's very technical problems that you get. While that is not the case with consultant, it's very generic law, it's very generalistic. And that is why I felt that I would choose something that's very certain than choosing which is very uncertain, that I don't know how, in which industry I'll get expertise, etc. So it was product management was a better fit for me.
Got it. So we are going to take a last question by Saikat Ghosh, who is asking, are people with 18-month experience in IT service industry allowed to sit for PM roles in IEMs? Number one. Second is, does past CGPA matter for getting shortlisted in a PM role?
Past
In internships. He's specifying in internships, yeah.
No. There was no rule as such that only 7 pointers or 6 pointers can get. So there was no rule as such, and I got comments from my seniors or from other product managers I have interacted. I think academics do not play a major part. So no worries on that. And 18 months of work ex, I think it depends on college to college. They'll give you a set of rules which changes. Like for example, last year we had some 2.5 years of work ex required for PM roles. But this year we had 2 years of work ex required for 2 or 1 year of work ex required for product management role. So the rules keeps on changing, but having a work experience would definitely help you in getting a shortlist for a product management role.
Got it. So we have a couple of more questions, but I think Muskan, are you out of time? Is it okay if we take?
1 minute.
Sure. So in case she is not available right now, what we can do is we will personally answer your questions, Gaurav and SK again. And Inside IIM will get in contact with Muskan or the relevant person who has the answers, and we'll get back to you soon. Is that fine?
We can take two questions more.
We can? Okay. So I'll take up one more question by Gaurav. So how can someone transit from QA engineering roles to PM? I think you should check our webinar from the beginning. She transited from engineering to this. So that will answer your question. So SK was actually asking a different sort of question. So he was saying that so he's graduating in 2023, and he was asking if he should crack CAT in 23 itself, or is it a loss? He should give CAT in this year, November, and then crack it and get ahead with it, though he will be graduating in 2023, or he should complete his whole engineering or whatever he was doing till 2023 and then give the CAT that year later in October or November.
I think both situations possible. Some of my seniors gave it in their 4th year of engineering, and after engineering was completed, they went to their MBA colleges. And some of them got 1 year experience and then gave their CAT and went to exam. So both it's not like if you're not a graduate, you won't get admission into MBA. MBA colleges start around July, August, this timeline. Your graduation, I think, will end around April, May. So after the graduation is complete, you can immediately join if you have like a pass certificate, I'm assuming. Then you can join MBA colleges. So there is no criteria such that you have to.
Okay, got it. Gaurav, your question on AI, we will take it up with a person who can answer it better. So we'll take it up later on. And then we have Hemant asking, being a PM, do you take care of UI UX part as well?
Could you repeat? I think that there was some lag in it.
Being a PM, do you take care of UI UX part as well?
See, as well as my team is considered, we have UI UX designers with us. We work together. So if there is some input from me, they'll reframe it. Or if they have done something new, they should have that kind of justification that why we are going with this particular designs. But in newer age startups, I think since they can't afford a UI UX designer, it is better that if you have done that kind of course or if you have that kind of knowledge, can definitely implement that.
Got it. So last question by Aditya we have, we are going to finish it over here. Is it possible to switch from consulting to PM? And how do you do it?
Since even in my final placements, I had this dilemma that consulting to PM. So I'll give means what information I had only on basis of that. But I would request that just do not like rely on my answer and research a bit more. I'll tell you the method that I used, right? I went on LinkedIn. I typed for consultants role, top 4 consulting firms, McKinsey, BCG, then Deloitte, etc. All this consulting firm. And I saw their switches. What was the transition possible? Have they gone into a product management role? So that number was very low. And whichever number I saw, like if someone has transitioned from a consulting to a PM role, I saw that they had some kind of CS or tech background, or they had internships in their product management. So my analysis stated, and even after talking to some of the alumni, is that if you have a product background in the previous, and if you have worked for the consulting firm for 1 year or so, then it would be easier for you to switch to product management. But otherwise, it is a bit difficult. So this is the analysis I did. So if you want to get into your answer, the best approach is that you talk to your seniors who are into consulting. Talk to everyone, whether they want to get into product management or not. Just ask them that have they applied to product management firms and what was their response? Did they get the shortlist after 1 year of consulting? My research stated that they did not get the shortlist after that. But I think it would also depend on college to college, what kind of background they have. There are too many variables. So it's better that you talk to your consultant seniors, ask them these questions that have you applied to these firms or not? What was the shortlist? Did you get the shortlist? How much difficult it was? What was your work ex background? Get all these answers sorted and then go forward with the decision.
Got it. So we are short on time because this was supposed to be a webinar short. Now we have extended it, but for all the questions that haven't been answered, we'll answer them later on. We will get back to you. And here is the end of this webinar. Thank you for joining Inside IM and all. Thank you, Muskan, and all our fantastic audience. I hope you took away something from Muskan. I took away a lot of things. I didn't know many things about product management. So all the best, Muskan, for your career from here onwards. And thank you, audience. Thank you for being here today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for hosting this. And I hope I was useful.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.